This map is weird. And every map is weird in some way. But so weird thing about this map is that really this is basically the same thing as this because so it's not completely because obviously they can't shoot. That's uh um the people here can't shoot here. Um, this is the same kind of thing, and especially in goats. When we're talking about goats, as is being played here, around this area, you can't hold here and then just expect to go backwards and it to work. Same here. You can't try and hold here and then they push you and expect to go backwards and it to work. That's just not how it works. Just because the sight line isn't across here, it's or and down here. It's more straight on. So because when they spawn, no, um, meh. I hate having to use multiple pens. When they spawn, they go through here, and then they go main, right? Um, or they don't go down there. So, but generally you'd go main in goats, or you'd go up there, or you'd do the glad strat, but we don't think about that. But generally you'd go main because it means that you're immediately you do have some slight cover here. There is the corner here, and you can use that as Ryan to kind of hide. But the main kind of gist of it is you can't use this cover. So what that means is instead of being like um, a straightforward just corner here. Well, I mean, well, sorry. Instead of it being just three separate sightlines, you basically just have two. Um, and so the winner is dependent on who can control those two best. So if we, so this is what I'm kind of talking about. So this sightline down there, then this sightline. And so that sightline there is a composition of this sightline and this one. But as I've already said, you can't really use that as a sightline because the defenders aren't pushing from here. So the attackers aren't pushing from there, they're pushing from there. So they're taking damage from there. So if you want to push this as an attacker, um, you can't treat it in the way that you can just walk out up there and you're not going to take damage from it because you're in their sight line, basically. If that makes sense. Um, but so what does that mean? So if we just establish 1, 2, that's probably the wrong way around. Whatever. Um, what that means is once the attackers, so it means that provided we assume that the attackers are going to go main, like here, and we assume that this is all true, that they're going to play into this. If we assume that's correct, then as soon as you have, so it means that you have two positions in which you can engage on them. You can either engage on them here, as there's from the perspective of the defenders. You can either engage on them there, because that means you still have control over the sight line. You have here, you have set up positions there. You have everywhere around to play them. You have cover here. You have cover here to some extent. You just want to engage on them before they reach the statue, right? You don't want to hold them at trick. The other option is you give up number one. I know I said it was number two before, but we're gonna leave that. You give up number one. Reason why you do this is because as soon as they reach here, as soon as they start shielding here, you've basically lost the sideline because they can start coming out. You don't actually have any cover. The next piece of cover you have is here. Is this corner. So unless you're capable, which most teams aren't, of engaging here, you want to give up that first cover, that first sideline, sorry. And so that's, and then, so this is why Kingside, a lot of the time you do see teams just getting rolled on this first point. It's because they have to hold her and they don't realize they have to hold her. They think, hey, I can hold her. You can't. You can't. As soon as, because they have this sideline. To get to that position, they have to have taken that sideline. You can't back off here. If you're here, they can shoot you. And they can immediately duck behind cover, which is amazing for the attackers. It's like they have this, but you don't. You only have it there. You only have that cover there. Okay. So what you want to do as the defenders is you want to, well, so as I already said, you have two engagement points here, here. What you want to do is in goats, because this is honestly a poor point of engagement for goats, at least. Reason being, you don't actually have anywhere to back off to, and you don't have anywhere to engage from. It works in floats. It works in floats. I will say that. The reason why it works in floats is because you can actually engage from a much longer range. It doesn't work as well in goats because Rein is slow and Rein is bad and Rein will get destroyed while he tries to push up there. Okay. So this is where you want to hold because playing Rein is all about corners. So corner there. So you just want to hold that, and then as soon as they try to push you, you go in here. You hide behind that corner. This is amazing for Rein. The only issue is it's off point. Forgot to mention that. That's probably a big thing. Because as soon as it's off point, then that means that the defenders are attacking all of a sudden. And the issue here is they don't have. Well, defenders attacking isn't as bad as a lot of people make it seem. A lot of people make it seem, oh my god, you have like no time to attack. You actually do, provided the point is at 0% initially. You have forever to attack this point. What a lot of people see is they see just so if this is the objective thing, they actually so this is the objective thing. Then so they see just slowly coming around. They're like, oh my god, they're going to cap it. They're going to cap it immediately. You only have to worry when it gets there. It doesn't actually matter how far they get it. This is the first point. It doesn't change anything. Like if you going for a full hold on this point is usually means you lose the first fight. But so yeah, that's how you want to play this. But the thing is, you'll see a lot as on hybrid, and especially this point, especially Kings very first. These teams will lose out. They'll lose this much. They'll lose like 80% of the point, and people are like, "Oh my god, they can't come back from this." And then you realize, oh wait, they have ult, and so then they'll snowball from there. Or they'll try and snowball, but then by the end of the 4 minutes, they've given up. The ult economy's kind of come back again, and then the attacking team can start pushing. But yeah, so recap. 2 places where you want to attack, where you want to engage here, here, here. They want to play here. Goats wants to play there. Or try and push there. If they can push there, that's really good. Because it means they don't have to give up point. But in the first fight, I don't expect them to. I don't want them to. No one wants them to. But what you really don't want to happen is for Rein to end up getting pushed back there. He wants to be, or like, you need to make that rotation back here early. Because if you don't, then they're just going to push you, and you're going to be forced to commit bubble because it's such a long rotation. Like, so 15 minutes in. Let's see what happens. That took a while, but I think it's, if anyone was watching, I think it's useful.